Welcome to the first full snow report of winter 2024-25 from back here in Chamonix. The lifts have been up and running here for nearly a week now, and while it is still incredibly limited, there is actually more than was initially expected. So originally, Verbier, which is where I am now, were only scheduled to be open last weekend, and they're opening fully from this coming weekend. It was only supposed to be Grande-Monte open midweek, but seeing as the conditions are still even more limited at Grande-Monte than they are here, they've kept Verbier open all week, which is great to see. It's not often that the companies Mont Blanc do something proactive like this and open something ahead of schedule, so it's pretty damn good. But that said, even here, the skiing is still very, very limited in terms of what pistes are available. There's plenty of off-piste terrain accessible, but the base is still very, very thin. So the lifts that have been available, at Grande-Monte, it's basically just the Tarbé chairlift. There's also Plan Duran, that's the gondola, but that's just for access, you can't ski down. And there's also one of the beginner pomas open as well, but I mean, yeah, doesn't really count. Here at Verbier, it's the same as what I said on my opening day report. You've got the Index, you've got the Trappe, and you've got the Yvettes. So actually it gives you access to most of the area. It's only really the Floria drag lift which is missing to be able to access all of that. But naturally everyone's skinned up there and skied it all out anyway. But this coming weekend we are expecting much more to open. As I've said before, this weekend, the 14th, 15th of December, is formally the start of the season here in Chamonix. So most, if not all the areas, should have some terrain open by this weekend. Again, it will still be very limited, especially at the lower resorts. But yeah, every single individual mountain should have something open this weekend. So in Les Ouches, it will literally just be a couple of very beginner runs right at the very top, accessed via the Prairien gondola. Bellevue gondola isn't set to open until 21st of December, I think. So yeah, it's still very, very limited skiing at Les Ouches. There was basically no snow until last Sunday. Most of the Brevant area is set to open, and indeed I believe the liaison link between Brevant and Verbier is also due to be open. So while not all the pistes will be prepared and officially open, you should be able to open most of the ski area of Brevant Verbier from what uplift is available. And yeah, a lot of the pistes are now open as well. At Grande-Monte, we're still actually waiting to hear if Bochard will be open from this weekend. We've not had any more snow since last weekend, of course, but they have been blowing some snow up there, so they have been filling in the pistes a little bit. But it takes a hell of a lot of snow to be able to open the upper runs at Grande-Monte because it's so rocky up there, and it also blows away as well, so it doesn't catch the snow very well. So yeah, at the moment, I don't really think Bochard or Hurst will be open. In fact, not even sure if Hurst is opening at all this season because of the construction going on at the mid-station, but yeah, we shall have to see about that. And certainly, Retour Pendant isn't due to be opening for a while yet, so it could well still be very, very limited opening at Grande-Monte this weekend. At La Tour, they're due to be opening the Ortanas chairlift and of course the access gondola, which will give access to a reasonable amount of skiing, nice cruisy blues and reds off of the main chairlift. They're also, in theory, opening the gondola at Vallorcine, but as of yet, none of the other lifts on the Vallorcine side are due to be opening, so I'm guessing that's just for access for pedestrians because you won't actually be able to ski anywhere from there. But yeah, certainly having some runs open at the Tour would be a good thing because the Tour, generally speaking, has the best pistes in Chamonix. If you just want to cruise some nice, long, wide, well-groomed pistes, that's the place to go. Down in town, Planards is also set to open this weekend. Indeed, I can just about see right now, the snow cannons are actually on, so they're preparing the piste even now. The piste will be 99% man-made snow. There's been very little snow down to the valley at the moment, but yeah, it certainly looks like we're going to have full coverage, top to bottom, full width, on all the runs down at Planards. So if you are a beginner, that's great. You've got the option of skiing right on the edge of town in Chamonix as well. I don't think any of the other valley bottom beginner areas are due to be opening yet. The likes of Le Vormain and the Balcon de Savoy on the edge of town in Chamonix are scheduled the following weekend, 21st of December. And there's also no Guy de Midi yet. That's also due to open on the 21st of December. Montenvers, the train is open. That's been open for a couple of weeks already, but the gondola down onto the ice is also not opening until 21st of December. So again, in terms of skiing, there's no option there either. Over in Invasion Mont Blanc, there is also some limited opening up this weekend. Both Le Contamine and Saint-Gervais will have some pistes open. Up at Le Contamine, there's only a few lifts available, but actually there'll be plenty of skiable terrain with those lifts that are open. It's just going to be the middle portion of the ski area, but Le Contamine's a pretty big ski area. There'll be plenty of skiing to be done there. And Le Contamine, generally speaking, has really good snow as well. In terms of both quality and quantity, it's one of the best in this area. In Saint-Gervais, it's very much token, just like La Zouche. Just a handful of green beginner runs right at the very top with the main gondolas for access only. Although bizarrely, looking at the piste map, looks like there's also going to be one black run open, which is a really strange combination because nobody who's going to be up there skiing the greens is going to be able to ski the black, and no one's going to be going up there just to ski one black run. But there we are. I think Cormier over in Italy will be partially open as well from this weekend, but the tunnel is still closed at the moment. That opens on the 16th, so Monday. So certainly for the weekend at least, we still can't ski in Cormier. But if you're out here next week, then as long as the tunnel does open on schedule, you will be able to get through into Italy and do some skiing in Cormier. And last but not least, of course, there's Verbier over in Switzerland, which of all the areas within our ski pass, that's got the most skiing available by a long shot. It still is limited opening, but as I said in my video last week, their limited opening is still bigger than any of the individual resorts in Chamonix, and indeed, it's probably bigger than several of them combined. I expect they'll be opening more pistes and more lifts this weekend as well. So yeah, it would have got even better since I was there last week. So what has the snow been like this week? I'm sure many of you will have seen my video from the opening day back on Saturday, and sure, the thumbnail and title were a little bit sensationalist, but it genuinely was the worst opening day I'd had in the 5 or 6 years I've been here. But it doesn't mean that conditions are terrible, it's just that we had some really good opening days in the past. The overall depth of the base is still very, very thin, but it's not nothing. We've still got full coverage above 2,000 metres. And then through Saturday afternoon and overnight on into Sunday, there's at least 30 centimetres of lovely, soft, fluffy snow which fell. So there was some amazing skiing to be had first thing on Sunday. Naturally, it all got tracked out incredibly quickly, but for those who are willing to put some effort in and work for it, you can still find some pretty nice snow earlier in the week as well. So loads of people were skinning up and boot packing up the couloirs up here above the top of the index. They're all completely skied out and tracked out now, but yeah, earlier in the week you could get some good turns up there, and the base is pretty good up there. The base have been building in those couloirs since September. Also at Grand Monte, plenty of people have been skinning up to the top of the Bochard lift, because obviously the runs aren't open, so they were able to find some fresh tracks up there. A few people have even skinned all the way up to the top of the old top station and skied down into the Argentia Basin side. And of course, up there, the base is glacier anyway, so there's snow year round. So I'm sure there was some lovely skiing to be had up there, again, if you're willing to put the effort in. But by now, of course, everything within the sight of lifts has been absolutely skied to death. You're not going to find any fresh tracks in the resort at the moment. The pistes themselves are also getting scraped very, very thin and pretty icy on the piste. I'm sure first thing they're nice when they're freshly groomed, but after an hour or two it's straight back down to the man-made base, and yeah, the pistes are very icy, so not particularly pleasant, not very beginner friendly at the moment. That may well change. The best on-piste skiing to be had at the moment is probably the top 200 metres or so of the pylons piste from the index chairlift, where the base there is all natural snow. There's no snow cannons at the top, so it's nice chalky, still scraped quite thin, but yeah, chalky grippy snow. But as soon as you get about halfway down and you start hitting the place where there's snow cannons and the base is more man-made, very icy. Lots of Bambi on ice moments at the moment. Unfortunately, there's still no more meaningful snow in the forecast in at least the next week or so at the moment. There is a little bit due over the weekend. A few days ago they were saying maybe it could be 5 to 10 centimetres, but now it's going to be a centimetre or two tops, so it's not really going to change anything. Freshen things up, make everything look a little bit whiter again, but yeah, in terms of the skiing quality, it's not going to change now. Very much a skier-packed, tracked-out base in the off-piste and scraped-thin, icy base on the piste. But at least it has stayed cold. Right now it is really, really cold. Things are going to be heating up a little bit into next week, but without any rain, not really going to lose any more snow. And yeah, the sun's as weak as it gets this time of year. We're nearly at the winter solstice, middle of December. So I certainly expect, unless anything drastically changes now, that if you are coming out here around about Christmas time, there will be snow lying at all elevations around Christmas. He says in hope. Moving on to a little bit of business now. My channel has finally got to the size where I'm able to start attracting a little bit of brand attention. This being one of them, more on that another day. But hopefully over the coming weeks and months, I will be doing a few paid partnerships in some of my snow report videos, but I'm certainly not going to be selling out. These will only be things that are A, relevant and important to me, and B, of useful and of interest to you. So hopefully most of it will be things which are Chamonix based brands and businesses, and certainly the kind of things which you've often been asking me about in private messages. Things like where to go for your apre-ski, how to get around Valley invalid transfers, airport transfers, that kind of thing, bars, restaurants, etc. So yeah, hopefully I'll be doing the occasional bit of product placements here and there in my videos, but please don't tune out, because they should all be things which are potentially of relevance to you.